Hello, my name is Tracy Allen, and I want to welcome you to Cooking with Some Friends. Hi everyone, and welcome to Cooking with Some Friends. I was feeling kind of guilty today. Well, I've been busy all day, but my husband's been at work all day. And I have a little bit of leftover coconut cream pie that I'm going to have a piece of it after supper tonight. But my husband doesn't like coconut cream. And that was pretty much all I have for dessert. So I thought I am going to make he likes chocolate pie. And so I'm going to make up a chocolate pie that doesn't need any baking. And so it's super easy. So I'm going to share that recipe with you. First of all, I'm going to make an Oreo crust. You can buy an already prepared Oreo crust if you want to, but I'm going to go ahead and make my own. And again, no baking. You could bake it if you want to, but you don't have to. So I have gone ahead and just with my meat tenderizer in a Ziploc bag, I've broken up 22 Oreos, cream filling and all. And I have melted 5 tablespoons of butter, and I'm going to put that in there. And then I'm going to mix these together and press them into my pie plate. I love chocolate, so I'm not crazy about Oreos, but an Oreo crust is fine, but chocolate is wonderful. So then I'm just going to take this and press it in the bottom and up the sides, a little way up the sides of my pie plate. And you can either use a rubber spatula or your hands and just make sure it's all covered on the bottom. And then, like I said, I'm going to go part way up the sides, but you don't have to go all the way up. Just kind of even it out a little bit. And then I'm going to set this in the refrigerator to chill while I'm doing the other layers. I've also, in my freezer for what I'm going to do next, I put my metal mixing bowl and the attachment, the whisk attachment that goes on my hand mixer. I thought seriously about using my big mixer, my KitchenAid, but I just didn't want to drag it out. So this pie crust is going to go in the refrigerator, and then I'll come back and show you the different layers of filling. Okay, I got my bowl out of the freezer and my attachments to my hand mixer, and in my bowl I am going to put my heavy whipping cream and my powdered sugar and my cocoa, and I'm going to beat that to a stiff peak, and then I'm going to put this in the refrigerator while I'm doing my next layer. So I wanted to do that ahead to let you know because this will get loud. But I have 1.5 cups of heavy cream, and I have 1/3 cup of powdered sugar, and then I want to put in dark cocoa. I want 2 tablespoons. And I'm going to beat that to stiff peak. For our first layer that goes on top of our cooled crust that I had in the fridge, I'm going to take 8 ounces of cream cheese. And I have a 4-ounce chocolate bar, a baking bar, and I'm using semi-sweet. You can use dark chocolate if you'd rather, but I'm going to use semi-sweet. And I'm going to put that in with my cream cheese. And then I have sugar as well that goes in this, and I have a 1/4 cup of sugar. I'm going to beat those together until they're creamy. is our fudge layer of our no-bake chocolate pie. Done with my mixer, and I'm gonna spread this over that crust, and then I'm getting ready for the next layer, which is the pudding layer. Okay, I have that fudgy layer over my shell, my pie shell. Now I'm going to make the next layer, which I'm going to take a small package of chocolate fudge instant pudding mix. And I'm going to whisk into that 1 cup of milk. And I'm using the same bowl because we're going to combine some of these things anyway. And it'll take a couple of minutes of whisking to get it the right consistency. You want it to start to get thick. Which, since it's a diluted amount of milk, it won't take quite as long as it would as if you were using the whole container or the whole amount on the package. Okay. To that, I'm going to add, you can see it's gotten pretty thick. To that, I'm going to add half of that whipped cream mixture that we made. And I just want to fold that in. And this is that layer that goes on top of our fudgy layer. And you've probably already guessed our very last layer will be the rest of that chocolate whipped cream that we made. Fairly level. I'm going to top it with this last of the whipped cream. Spatula to do that. When I get this all spread out, I've got some hot fudge sauce I can drizzle over it. I've got mini Oreos that you can garnish it with, but then it'll be ready to go and I'll show you a finished picture. Hello, welcome to Cooking with Some Friends. Today I have April and Eden back with me. Yeah, don't trip over my rug. We are going to make a recipe that actually, it was one of the first ones that April said, I'm doing it when you do pumpkin bars. Because she likes the pumpkin bars. So anyway, we're going to make our version of pumpkin bars. And I'm going to let April walk you through it. She's done it before. Eden's going to help. So it's all yours.
Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mix some wet ingredients in this bowl since it's bigger, because my dry ingredients, when they go in here, I'm going to mix them in there so I don't overflow the smaller bowl. So I'll start with 4 eggs, and I will try to crack them without doing something awful with them. Like getting shells in, because that's what I do. You're not counting my eggs.
2. Three. When you get it open. When you get it open.
Oh, maybe.
Come on.
I
You got it.
Oh.
3.
I grew my nails out and I'm not quite used to long nails.
I have a nail appointment on Tuesday finally because mine are getting too long.
Well, I stabbed myself in the eye the other day. I thought I cut my eye open.
You're really not used to it, huh?
No, and I can't hardly tap at all.
4.
Or type, not tap. 4. Got him 4. Okay. Now I gotta go with sugar. And it's already measured out. It should be 1 2/3 cup of sugar. So even though this is kind of a dry ingredient, we're gonna mix it in here. I have found with most of Tracy's recipes that there is a rhyme and a reason for when you put something in and how you put it in, because that's how I've made the chocolate chip cookies so well, because they have to be mixed a certain way.
Isn't that funny how different that it comes out when you don't? It's kind of like when you make noodles and you slice them thick versus thin.
Everybody loves the cookies though.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay, oil.
Oil.
Sorry, it's measured.
Oil. 1 cup of oil. Well, and I've even noticed with baking soda,
You can put the dirty stuff in here if it's easier for you.
if I mix baking soda into something, I put it into the flour and sift it all
Oh yeah,
around
otherwise
first.
you can get a
Otherwise
bite
you
of
get-
bitterness even.
Yeah.
It's awful.
And honestly, I
Yeah.
never really thought about it before. Oh, and then pumpkin. I
Yes,
should-
it's open.
Oh,
All you
is
have to
it?
do is pop the lid. I
Oh.
already did it.
She's got a fancy can opener. It doesn't even look like it's open. It's a good thing I didn't like chuck it at Eden.
Pumpkin all over me.
I would, if this were me in my own kitchen, I would stick my finger in there. And
Oh
just,
no! You cut yourself on a
Okay.
regular lid. Hey, so do you buy pumpkin pie filling to do pumpkin bars, or do you buy pumpkin puree? I didn't even, for the longest time, realize there was a difference.
Usually just the like it. I mean, it
It
looks like
says
that.
it,
Yeah.
yeah, pure pumpkin, but it's funny. I've got some recipes that say not to use the pumpkin that you would use in the pie, that you have to use pumpkin puree. So, and really, the store, the only way I found that is any organic. I know.
I'm making music.
She's ringing, isn't she? Okay, so she's gonna
Calling
mix.
all the hungry people home.
Yeah, she's gonna mix that with the electric mixer, and it's right there. And the beater bars are just above your cookie sheet right there. You win it.
Is it already plugged in?
Yep.
Okay.
Smells like pumpkin.
Yep.
Smells
And
like
she's
pumpkin.
gonna beat this until it's light and fluffy, and it'll probably take it a couple of minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off because it's really noisy.
Yes.
Okay, we put Eden to work sifting the 2 cups of flour, but she's on her last half cup, and April's gonna go ahead and tell you what she's gonna do next.
So I'm going to measure out the baking powder and cinnamon, salt, and baking soda, I think. Those 4 ingredients, and there's only it's 2 tablespoons of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of baking soda, and we're gonna put it into the flour. That way, it sifts through and isn't just clumped.
You can put the spoon in there if you want to.
I had to see the bottom. I couldn't see it. It didn't look like there was very much in there.
Well, I have 2 of those huge bottles from Sam's Club downstairs. I just need to bring them up and refill. I always think, I don't have any more cinnamon. I probably ought to buy some here. I probably ought to buy some. And then I looked down my pantry shelf and I had a great big bottle of
This is taking way longer than what it should.
Can you tell she's not a baker?
it. She makes some things really well.
Some things.
Cookies.
Cookies. That's about it.
It's one of those things that if you want to bad enough and you
Quesadillas.
practice often enough,
Quesadillas.
yes, okay. Cinnamon,
Cinnamon, baking soda, baking powder, and salt. And I only need 1 teaspoon, not tablespoon, teaspoon of this.
That would be bitter, bitter. You don't have to make level it if you don't want to. Just shake it.
Ta-da! And the salt. And these were a half.
Yep. So you're going to use
So we're going to use 2 of those. With my fancy little
And your baking powder.
Baking powder.
oh, back here. Found it.
And I went ahead and sprayed the pan that we're going to use, and Eden already preheated the oven to 350.
I hope.
You did it. I checked
Okay.
it.
She
Last
followed,
time I did it.
she followed the steps.
Yeah. My new oven isn't as easy as my other one was.
Well, our oven still has 2 knobs, and you have to wait for the light to turn on.
That's original to that old farmhouse. Okay, so now Eden's gonna go ahead and sift those into the rest of the flour, and then that should be ready to go ahead and mix into the wet ingredients.
Looking good.
Smelling good.
Huh?
Mhm.
Okay. Just tap it on your hand.
That's about it.
Okay. So,
Alright.
and you can use the electric mixer if you want to, or you can stir it in with your spatula, whichever you're more comfortable with. I was telling April this baking sheet is my favorite, and you can tell it by looking.
Well, leaving all that stuff, like, it adds flavor.
Yeah,
It's
it
seasoned.
is so stained, it's just crazy.
That's character.
Do you, I don't, but do you pull the beaters part way out and while it's running to get that extra? If I did that, I would have it everywhere.
I do. I always have. I don't know for whatever reason, but
Well, and I think it came, I don't, because when I taught kids for so long, if I had let them do that, I would have got a mess. Just in the bowl's fine, or wherever you want. Okay, so she's gonna do the last mixing, put it in the pan, we'll put it in the oven for about 30 minutes. And then we need to let those cool before we make the cream cheese icing that goes on.
Best type of icing.
Okay, the pumpkin bars are done and almost completely cooled, so now April's ready to make the icing for those, so go ahead.
8 ounces of cream cheese, which I've already opened.
And that's at room temperature so that it will beat up a lot easier. And she opened it with no trouble, unlike me when I try to open them.
Oh, that's just because it was off camera. Because if the camera had been rolling, I would have struggled for days.
And she has a half a cup of butter. That's at room temperature as well. And she's gonna cream those together with her mixer. And then she will sift in 2 cups of powdered sugar and a teaspoon of vanilla. And then the icing is ready.
We hope anyway.
You gonna sing to them while that's going?
I kind of started to hum, but then I thought, no, I better not. I better keep my day job. Nobody wants to hear me sing. I'm the kind of person that randomly just breaks out into a little tune or change my voice to, like, you know,
That's all I have to do. Okay. 2 cups of sifted powdered sugar.
Stay. And I am half cup?
Use the
Nope.
yeah. There you go.
There we go.
Push. Oh, that's okay.
That one just came right off.
She's using a 1/2 cup measuring cup, so she'll use 4 of those.
Mm-hmm. We'll sift it in really good.
I would have given you the 1 cup, but I really don't think it'll fit in that canister. That's why I didn't want to give you the 1 cup measuring cup.
And I would have struggled and people would have laughed.
We wouldn't laugh very hard.
Okay, when there's nothing in this thing, it just spins like nobody's business.
I know, that's what I said. I've gone through so many sifters trying to find the one I like, and that one has a catch in it, and the other one you wear yourself out on. And
where's Eden when you need to sift?
really. Another 1/2 cup
Yep.
for your bowl. I was afraid I was gonna.
She didn't trust my
Well, I was afraid it went over the bowl, and I was gonna dump that, and it was gonna be everywhere.
navigation abilities. I wouldn't either. We talk about Eden kind of being a bull in a china shop, but she kind of, I'm sure she gets it from me.
Oh. That and a teaspoon of vanilla, and that's all there is to the icing.
Oh yeah, getting it all out of there. There we go. And how much?
Teaspoon.
Teaspoon.
Right,
Where's
right,
my
yeah.
teaspoon go?
You picked it up right away.
I did. Except I second guessed myself and read it to make sure. All right, let's go a little slower this. Oh, no,
You're good.
didn't work.
Okay. So she'll mix this, and then we'll come back to show you the finished product when the pumpkin bars are done.
Yummy.
Thanks for joining us for this session of Cooking with Some Friends. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And find us on Facebook at Cooking with Some Friends.